I always start off my class generally with allowing the audience, whether it's in my synagogue, my yeshiva, guest speaker somewhere, that every piece of Torah you learn is Hashem talking to you. There's a reason why you're learning this, you're not learning something else. Why do you have to learn this topic and not something else? Right? And the reason is because this is what Hashem wants you to learn. So a teacher, a Rebbe, has to understand that you're now transmitting a message from Hashem to his kids, to his children.
Welcome everyone back to Chazaq's Torah Talks program, where Baruch Hashem we have the great honor to hear today from Rabbi Eliezer Zeytouneh.
Nice to meet you.
Good to see you. We have this. The rabbi's so great. He's actually on this. We had you a few years ago on the podcast, and we're doing 2.0 edition.
COVID time, right? I think it
was. Yeah. So we go from virtual to now. This is reality. Baruch Hashem. So we welcome the rabbi back. And before we get in, we have a very special topic today. Today, all about education for today's generation, and of course we want to, if we can hear just some of the background of the great work that you're involved with.
So Baruch Hashem, I've been in education for over 25 years. Baruch Hashem, started out as a teacher in high school, became the dean of students over there, opened up an elementary school, and I went to high school again. And I decided, there has to be an educational, platform that can give the students a wide array of opportunities to shine. And of course, every yeshiva is good, every institution is good, every educational facility is good. Of course, everyone has their niche. But there was a niche that I felt was very much needed, where we could combine an education, yeshiva education, with vocational studies and vocational training and include leadership training into that program. And hopefully you'll have a tremendous success emerge. And Baruch Hashem, we graduated 3 years, and we're seeing it. We're seeing the perot, seeing the fruit. Thank God. It's important that you have an outlet for every type of student.
Hashem. So quite often when you think about education, a person might think, okay, fine, take out the textbook, just like, okay, fine, you take out the algebra textbook, bio textbook, whatever it might be. Okay, fine, you teach the subjects. But is there a difference fundamentally between maybe a secular subject and maybe Torah?
So I'll tell you, let's start from the beginning. Even if you're teaching algebra, if you don't know it, you're not teaching it adequately. Algebra, biology, chemistry, history, all those things, if you're lacking your knowledge, you can't transmit it properly. When it comes to Torah, it's more than that, because you're not feeding a kid a subject. When you're teaching a kid in a halakha, you're teaching this kid and his kids and his grandkids, and you're setting him up for a certain, level of spirituality, which will allow him to now meet someone on his level and then build from there. So it's besides for having to know what you're teaching, you also have to make it interesting, appealing, something that they're going to want to learn, because you're talking to the neshama. And I'm talking too much right now. And I'll tell you something else. I always start off my class generally with allowing the audience, whether it's in my synagogue, in my yeshiva, guest speaker somewhere, that every piece of Torah you learn is Hashem talking to you. There's a reason why you're learning this, you're not learning something else. Why do you have to learn this topic and not something else? Right? And the reason is because this is what Hashem wants you to learn. So a teacher, a Rebbe, has to understand that you're now transmitting a message from Hashem to his kids, to his children. And therefore, it's not the same. Biology, it's finite. Halakha is not finite. It could go out and spread into many different topics into a person's life. Same thing with Chumash, Navi. Some people think it's history. Some people think it's advice for life. Some people take a look at it a little bit deeper. So, that's what Torah is. Torah could be taught in 70 different ways. Yeah. So it's not just, an equation. And we're not mitigating the importance of math. It's important also. But if you want to know if there's a distinction, definitely a distinction. Talking to a neshama.
Hashem. So there's I heard once from the Agudah convention, Rabbi Reisman, he said that there Rav Pam, he said don't focus on teaching Gemara, on teaching Rashi, teach students. So but sometimes you might think, okay, fine, that's nice, you put it on the bumper sticker of a car, you put it nice in the front of the yeshiva, but how do you practically you have 20 people in the room, 500 people in the yeshiva, 500 people in the shul, 100 people in the shul. How do you practically give each person? How do you educate or inspire each person when you're doing it in the masses? How do you focus? Right. How do you give it to individualized attention, information, inspiration?
That's great. So it's a phenomenal question, and I'm going to give you one answer. So the truth of the matter is, if you the first Mishnah Pekav, it says, "V'ha'amidu talmidim harbe." Okay, that's from Shirei HaKnesset Gedolah. Gave counsel to stand up and erect many students. Okay, students, a lot. Erect students, a lot. How do you do that? What do you mean erect students a lot? Very simple. Give them confidence. The number one key in success in any person is confidence. So if you have 20 students and you're able to give each one confidence throughout the day, an encouragement, a compliment, come to my office. My yeshiva, my office is open. Person wants to make a boy, wants to make a coffee, you can make a coffee, you want to get a cookie, you want to get a muffin, you want to get whatever it is. It's always come in, say a word.
It's almost like you don't even need a door. It's always open. It's always open.
Even against my will, they're always in there. But thank God, and it's very light, it's very nice, it's an encouraging word. How are you? How are you feeling? That's really how you foster confidence. Once you foster confidence, now the ears open. Now the heart opens. Now they might not get every lesson. You try your hardest, but they'll be able to absorb much more. I'll give you an example. You ever take a look at a person who throughout school he was a dismal failure. He never passed anything. Wasn't interested, didn't want to learn. All of a sudden he goes into the business world and he becomes a success. What do you see him doing? You see him in the Beit Midrash. He's sitting, he's learning Gemaras, making siyumim. What happened? You became a genius overnight? What happened? No. When he went into business, he did well, he became confident. Now that he became confident, his heart opened up. Now that his heart opened up, now you're able to learn. So really, that really is the conduit to success in many occasions, in many cases. All you have to do is encourage, show them love, show them that you care, show them that they're important, show them that they're unique, show them that they can do it, they can persevere. And you'll see that greatness emerges from every single individual. That's how you teach many students. That's what it means. Don't teach the subject, teach the student. How? By opening up his heart and his mind, by giving him his confidence. So that's how you absorb information.
Would you say there's maybe just like how you look at Hakara Satov? How do you see the greatness of Hakara Satov to Hashem or to somebody who drove you or whatever it may be? Because you're Hakara Satov, you're recognizing the good. Would you say that's a similar thing? You look in the student. Okay, fine. Maybe he's doing these 3 things wrong, but look at the Tov.
Right.
Would you say
I'll give you an example. We had a student many years ago that was not interested. Wasn't interested. And he came, he would disrupt, he would fight, he would argue. And one day he was talking to me and he explained, he mentioned to me that he likes to cook. I said, you love to cook? He said, yeah. I said, great, tomorrow you're making breakfast for the whole yeshiva. Next day he came, he made eggs for the whole yeshiva. How are you going to make it with pepper, not pepper, salt, this way you like it, right? All the relishes. He did it twice. He became a phenomenal kid. He sat down. Why? Because again, you reach the good. Like you said, Hakarat Tov. You realize there's a Tov. Everybody has Tov.
Yeah.
Everybody. If you're a living being, that means you have a Tov. You have to have Tov in you. So once you tap into it, you're able to extrapolate it. You could develop anybody. Beautiful. It's an amazing. It's an amazing thing. It's what rabbis tell us. It's not my good. It's not my chiddush.
Yeah.
I'd love to take credit for it, but I don't again. But that's what the rabbis explain. And therefore, if you find the derech, Hapid Arko means there's a derech. Everyone has a derech. You find the derech, you can get to the same destination. You can find any 2 people, you can reach the same destination, different derech, different way.
When you go on ways, it says you can get this way in 3 different ways. I thought there's one way. What do you do? 3 different ways?
Trust me, we came in now, they took us through the backyard, and I don't know where we're going, the streets, and I got a little skin in some neighborhoods. But
so they made 3 exponential, whatever, hundreds of ways. Baruch Hashem. Rabbi, of course, there's so many ways of role models for us in the world of chinuch and education. Can you maybe share us maybe a thought or 2 or an idea from maybe some of the great rabbis or scholars on the topic of education?
It's very well known how Chacham Ovadia Tzedek used to be able to give, again, individual attention to individuals, not allowing people to feel like they're excommunicated or stranded or out, worrying about the individuals. He did that work with Agunot. He was able to worry about every Agunah, give attention to every Agunah, to see if he could be matir the Agunot, to allow them to remarry. It's amazing how he did it in Chinuch, he did it in Shi'ur. Phenomenal. Another role model of mine was Chacham Baruch ben Chaim, Zecher Tzedek V'Kadosh Livracha, who was the great rabbi in the Syrian community, who I myself experienced a few times how he was able to give individuals his well-deserved attention. I'll give you an example. When I first got married, so he used to give a class in Shari Tzion, 6 in the morning. No, they prayed 6 in the morning. 5:30 in the morning, they already were learning. If you weren't there at 5:30 in the morning, they were in the middle of the shiur.
Wow.
Okay, so he was there, and Rabbi Raymond Beda, Shibad Chaim Tovim was there, Cham Shmuel Dweck, Rav Shalom was there, and a bunch of rabbis were there. So when I first got married, I decided to go venture. I would pray 6 o'clock, but learn Chacham Baruch.
Wow.
Phenomenal. So I went there 1 day, 2 days. After a while, newlywed, you get tired. So I started praying a little bit later. A couple of weeks later, I decided to come in. When I came in, the rabbi got worried. I said, "Bro, where were you? Everything okay? Are you all right?" Can you imagine? Here I am, a newlywed guy, probably the biggest rabbi in there, one of the biggest rabbis in the community. What do you want for? Why would you even notice that I wasn't there? But he noticed. You know how to make every person feel good. I remember when I was a kid, I was walking on Ocean Parkway. Also, I saw Chacham Baruch walking down the street. Chacham Baruch. So I went to kiss the rabbi's hand. So he stopped. I don't know where he was going. He stopped. Started. What's your name? What school do you go to? What are you learning? Rabbi, you're going to give a shiur. How many people are waiting for you? What do you want from me? But that was Chacham Baruch. That was Chacham Baruch's unbelievable ability to zero in on the strengths, on the confidence, and on the light that every person possesses, able to turn up the light. A phenomenal thing.
Wow, beautiful. So many gems today, Baruch Hashem. Rabbi, if you could leave us with one final message for all listeners, what's a take-home message that we can practically apply to all of us?
So I would say like this, a message for the parents. Many times parents feel disappointed because they feel my kid is not what I thought he would be. I never thought he was going to be like this. I didn't think he was going to do this. I don't think he was going to like this. But a person has to realize that before Borelam gave you a kid, you looked around and said, who are the best parents for this kid? The Aflam in bed says the 3 partners for every kid. There's 3 partners: the mother, the father, and Hashem. That means before Hashem went into the partnership with that kid, he looked who are the best partners. Who are the best partners to help me raise this kid? And if you understand that God gave you that kid because you could do the best with that kid, disappointment is the worst thing that a kid could feel from his parents. The best thing is time and love. You give every kid time and love. A kid comes to my yeshiva without confidence. It means that something was missing. Something was missing. I'm not saying it's from the parents. It could have been from the parents, from the school, from some sort of, happenstance that happened before. But if the parents develop a kid when he's younger, already when he gets older, he is already confident. He's already confident. Yeah, he might not be the way you want him. It's not the restaurant.
It's not cookie cutter. Okay, fine. Put him through the mill.
A kid is not a vending machine. You can put the A2 and he comes out the way you want him. Every kid was given to you with his talents, with his qualities, and his deficiencies. And our job is to take all of those things and help, not make him something, but help him become something. He's got to make those decisions. So give a kid and every parent. Again, I'm asking, it's an appeal from Rabbi Zeytouneh. Okay, that's my name. Anyway, and but an appeal. Give every kid time and love. Time and love. Doesn't matter what you did, how busy you are, how things are. I'll tell you, Reuven Feinstein, Hashem yishmeru v'chayehu, Hashem should bless him, arichut yamim v'shanim. I once had a meeting with the Rosh Yeshiva. I sat down. I said, Rosh Yeshiva, I got to ask you a question. I said, I'm a Rav. I'm a principal. Baruch Hashem, I have a family. I said, how do you be a successful Rav, successful Rosh Yeshiva or Menahel, a successful father, a successful husband? So the rabbi said like this, and I remind the rabbi when I see the rabbi. The rabbi said like this. He says, when you're a rabbi, you're a rabbi. When you're Rosh Yeshiva, you're Rosh Yeshiva. When you're a father, you're a father. When you're a husband, you're a husband. You can't bring work home. Don't bring the stresses of work home. Don't bring the stress. Just like you can't bring home to work, don't bring work to home. You're a father, you're a father. Spend time with your kids. Tell them you love them. Give them a hug. Sometimes it's very hard for people to say I love you. Some people just not programmed to say I love you. But for your kid, wouldn't you do everything for your kid? So for your kid, you come, you give them a hug. For your kid, you tell them you love them. It's the biggest thing. It opens up a kid so much. It's unbelievable. And that's that. If you want to know one takeaway message, that's it. That's a takeaway message. Give your kids time and love. Tell them those words. It might be hard in the beginning. Tell them, I love you. I believe in you. I care about you. And don't be fake. Because kids are very good. They know if it's fake.
They have X-ray vision. They
They're
know.
very good. They're smarter than you and me. Okay, and if not, they ask what's the name?
GPT, whatever.
Right. Just be genuine. Give a real smile, a real hug, a real kiss. Tell your kids I love you. And you'll be amazed. You'll be amazed how they make you proud. Really very good.
Chazaq Baruch, Rabbi.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Rabbi, my friend for many years. I love you. Okay,
Rabbi, we love you, Rabbi. We're actually gonna call upon. We have talking about Talmidim and inspiring the students. We actually have two guests from the crowd. We have the two students over here. Please join us in over here.
Okay, my boys.
Who are our guests over here? We have.
Right. This is my good friend. Say your name. Adam
Let's
Matayev.
take a seat for a quick second.
Very good.
Here.
Oh, very good.
And who's our second
Say your
student?
name. Michael Yitzchakov. My two prime students, Baruch Hashem, who are doing very well, making us proud. And they could attest to eat many of my rugelach, my muffins in my office. Very good.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us on the podcast. Of course, everyone should join us every Tuesday night at chazaq.org/live for every single week for amazing speakers, amazing speakers, Rabbanim, like the amazing Rabbi Zeytouneh. And of course, join us if you see any of the previous episodes on Torah Anytime and any of the other amazing podcast players. Thank you so much.